Two, three things which I would like for you to observe. One is that from a technical communication point of view, that with minimum uh, text, only with photographs or diagrams, how things can be presented. And of course, this phenomena, that how one should explore a phenomena, and then how to resolve the issues which you would see in this presentation. And whenever you feel to ask a question, you can ask in between, or later on also at the end we would have time. I hope that, so that we will be discussing your doubts or whatever the comments. So let's start with this that false topographic perception phenomena, and which is observed in satellite images of hilly terrain of any part of the earth. And later on, we have also discovered this phenomena with the satellite images of Moon and Mars as well. So I can call as a universal phenomena, and in short, we say false topographic perception phenomena. In short, we say FTPP. If you recall, and still on the net, you can find these images. And this is what we have been told in our childhood, that when this Neil Armstrong landed on the surface of the moon, and the photograph was taken by Edwin Aldrin, then we have been told that this is the footprint of Neil Armstrong, or the first footprint on the moon's surface. But when you see very closely, you would find that if it is footprint on a loose soil, then it should not look as a raised ground, as you can see in the image. So why it is looking as a raised ground, that has really perturbed me, at least for many, many years. And then we found this, then we could explain this phenomena, and also discovered or developed various correction techniques as well. So which those techniques I am going to discuss. The very first technique, and which basically this has allowed us to understand this phenomena, this very first, very first technique is rotating this image by 180 degree. So if I rotate this image by 180 degree, like now you can see, now this footprint has gone down. But if you see the even in net today, Apollo images of 1969, all images would show this as a raised ground, whereas it should have been a depression. So why it is something wrong with this, or they took plaster of Paris and then created a mold of that one? I don't think so. So there is something wrong with this, our perception about such photographs. Now, if you see more footprints on the moon surface, and Neil Armstrong is standing, you would notice that all are these depressions. So why that footprint, which is called the first footprint on moon surface, is raised ground? And if I zoom this part, where this one you can see, it is also in a depression, not a raised ground, because we know on the moon surface, and whatever the soil, I should not call as a soil because it doesn't have much, or it doesn't have organic substance. But anyway, whatever the loose material or sand which is there, it is loose. So if anybody go there and put a foot, it should go down. So as we are seeing in this image. Now, when we come to the satellite images, let me explain. This is in the center of this image. You are seeing the Colorado River of USA and in Arizona state. And what you are seeing through a satellite image, which is Landsat ETM plus satellite image, which is again of US. And but important point, what you would observe in this satellite image, that this river is flowing on the ridge. This is what we perceive, and which is geomorphologically or topographically, It is not possible. We are all civil engineers or having that kind of background. We know that this is not possible in nature, that a river will flow on the ridge or on a higher grounds. River has to flow in the valley. So why we are perceiving such a phenomena when we keep the north upward, and this is the normal practice which we follow. And very recently, related with this, one question was asked in the KBC also, that in the maps we keep the north in which direction and the north symbol in which direction, or so that answer of course was the north upward. So what I am trying to say that this is the normal practice when we see a map or image, we always keep northward. This is how our brain has been trained. Now, when we keep north upward and look a satellite image of a hilly terrain, in this example of Landsat ETM Plus, we find that the river is flowing on the ridge, which is not really possible. But if I rotate this image by 180 degrees, then river goes in the valley. And this is now perfect perception. But what has happened that this north has gone down now. So that means it is upside down. It is not flip. Neither it is vertically flip or horizontally flip. It is rotation by 180 degrees. This you have to understand little clear. If I put both images together, you would realize that this is what this phenomena is there. Now just imagine that if we are using a satellite image like this one and making interpretations about topography or geomorphology from an image which is suffering from FTPP, then we are bound to make wrong interpretations. So this is what the care which we need to take whenever we are using satellite images of any part of the earth. I have said any part of the earth. I will show you various examples. So if I go to the sites where this space imaging site is a company in US which has developed its own satellites like Iconos. But when they put this image on their website, they have rotated this image by 180 degrees. And that is why you are seeing here the river is in the depression, not as on the ridge. So that means they have rotated the image, but they have not mentioned it, because whoever was developing this web page, they must have realized that if they keep north upward, then whatever they are writing as a caption will go wrong, because it will not look river is flowing in the valley. It will look that river is on the ridge. So people will not believe. So they have rotated without mentioning that why they have rotated. So they encountered this phenomena, but not fully understanding why it is happening. So now from US, let's come back to very close to India. And this is as you know, that the Brahmaputra is in Tibet is known as Sangpo. And this is Iconos image, 1 meter resolution, spatial resolution image of this Sangpo. And what you see again here, that the river is flowing on the ridge when we keep north upward. And when we rotate by 180 degrees, the river goes in the valley, and it's a correct perception. See, if I use this image and make interpretation, then in the centered part, I would say that this is the depression, which is in fact not depression. It is just opposite. It is the the ridge, which is creating a water divide for this river or these tributaries here. So now let's see again both images together, and you can realize that on the left side, the image when we keep north upward is suffering from FTPP, and when we rotate the image by 180 degrees, then this issue is gone. But think that if I keep rotating all images like this of hilly terrain, then what happens when I use the Geographic Information System or GIS or other maps information where everything is kept north upward? So that means everything has to be rotated. So this is the problem which we perceive with the satellite images of hilly terrain. The same mistake again by the same site even for this image. Even today, if you open, and you would find this problem. If I say that this is a volcano or a dormant volcano or extinct volcano, no one would believe it. But because when we keep the north upward, it doesn't look like a volcano. And when I rotate by 180 degree, now you are seeing that this is volcano neck, and then lava has flown here, and which is there, and lower part of that terrain is also there. So if I put again these two images, again you can feel that the left image is suffering from FTPP. Same mistake again by the company. And this mistake is not by this web page, but once we started getting images since 1972 onward, starting with Landsat 1 of hilly terrain, people face this problem. And there were no explanation that why it is happening, one, and how to correct it. Let me show you one more example. That if I say this is a snow-covered peak, but people would see that the snow is in the depression, but which is again a wrong perception when we keep north upward. And when I rotate by 180 degree, now things are in correct perception. The peak is covered with snow, and then you can also see the glacier part of this area. This is Mount Rainier near Washington, USA. And both images together, left image is suffering from FTPP, right image is not suffering. Same mistake again on that web page. People will think that why I am after this space imaging company. Nothing wrong, but just wanted to have some examples of different, like volcano or river valley or a snow-covered peak. So I got these images from there. Now, if we see this phenomena further or explore this phenomena further, what we find that even in simple drawings or artists or cartographers, when they prepare 3D, three-dimensional drawings or figures, they too exploit the lines, hatching or engraving and create a 3D perspective. Like here what you are seeing, which I got from a geomorphology book. And what you see that this is the valley. But if I rotate this image by 180 degree, like here I have done it, then this river has gone on the ridge, and again, now it is suffering from FTPP. So here in the drawings, whoever has drawn this drawing, he was very careful that valley should, the river should flow in the valley, so that valley should appear as valley. And therefore, the hatching and engraving has been done accordingly. But if by mistake, if somebody rotates, then you will see completely wrong perception. There are, paleontologists or those who study fossils, and they also face this problem, and sometimes they play with this FTPP, that is false topographic perception phenomenon. They may find a fossil impression or that cast of that fossil like this on the rock surfaces. But when they publish, they rotate by 180 degree and they publish like this. Now here, you may feel on the right image that the animal was there itself. This trilobite animal was there, but in fact, they have found a cast of that one, not really the mold of that fossil. So this is not only in one example, there are various examples. If I see these ammonites, which are again very large size ammonites of Jurassic period. And here again, we are seeing, so in this whole photograph, except one which is really looking a mold, rest are the cast. But if I rotate by 180 degree, then except that one, the one which I was seeing as a mold has become cast and rest has become mold. That means the animal was here. So which one is really correct, they have to tell. And important point here is that if you see the books on photography or books on paleontology, where they say that how to take photographs of a fossil, this is what it is mentioned. This is the the geological photography book, and it says that the directional lighting is also needed to show the fossil form. And the important line here is that this light must come from the upper left, that is the northwest direction. Otherwise, the fossil relief may appear inverted. But again, this book doesn't say that why it should come from the northwest direction. This is an important point. Why it should come from the northwest direction. So if I go back to the first footprint of Neil Armstrong, what happened when this Edwin Aldrin took the photograph of Neil Armstrong footprint? He took the photograph standing in the southern hemisphere, or opposite, not really opposite direction of illumination, but in the same direction of illumination. And because of that, we see a false topographic perception phenomenon. And this here it says that this light must come from the opposite direction, because our brain has been trained to assume all the time that the illumination is coming from opposite direction. And this is the reason here. I will further explain this phenomenon. So before that, let me make few statements here that if you take satellite images from optical satellites or optical sensors, and which are truly remote sensing satellites like sun-synchronous near polar orbiting satellites of a rugged terrain or a hilly terrain, will always suffer from topographic effects. This is a very bold statement, that satellite images which are remote sensing satellite images of hilly terrain will always suffer from this topographic effect, or FTPP. And because of this FTPP or wrong perception, people will perceive valleys as ridges and vice versa. And of course, inevitably, they will make wrong interpretations if they are not aware about this phenomena. And if they do not perform the corrections immediately, then they are bound to make wrong interpretations about the topography or geomorphology of that particular area. And in 1996, we published the first paper in this series. Of course, at that time, we didn't know that we will be publishing a series of papers on this topic. But 1996, first time, through a publication in International Journal of Remote Sensing, we came with an explanation about this phenomena, existence of this phenomena, why it is occurring about this phenomena, and this rotation technique, that if you rotate by 180 degree, then you can get rid of phenomena, this FTPP, very easily. So this first paper came. Before that, remember that the first satellite, remote sensing satellite in civilian domain, started in 1972 in the form of Landsat-1. Until 1996, for those many years, 25 years, the entire, or 24 years, the entire remote sensing literature remained silent about this phenomenon, though people have been suffering from this phenomena. And let me share one very interesting experience of publishing this paper, because this links with the, in the preamble or in the beginning of my presentation, I said that if you find some interesting, and if it is not explainable today, we must not give up, and we continue working on that, and hopefully one day we should be able to explain that one. So when we first submitted this paper to International Journal of Remote Sensing, then what we found after the review, that one reviewer said this is, in his comments, he said that this is useless work and throw it in dustbin. And the second reviewer said that this is wonderful work, and we have been committing so many mistakes by making wrong interpretations, and requested editor that please publish this paper, or must publish this paper. Of course, the editor went in our favor, and he suggested to us that please ignore the comments provided by the first reviewer and take whatever the suggestions made by the second reviewer, little bit improvement, and resubmit the paper to the journal. And of course, we submitted, and then finally it was published. So sometimes people may not understand because they were facing the problem, but they were not accepting that this phenomena really exists. But some people can understand easily, and then they will start appreciating. So this is that first paper which I was mentioning with my colleague and students, which we published in International Journal of Remote Sensing in 1996. After that, we have published many papers on this topic, which I will be also mentioning a little bit about that. So now, after looking at the Neil Armstrong first foot impression of moon surface and looking various satellite images of USA and this Tibet, I will be also showing a part of Himalaya, and a drawing in a geomorphology book. We can identify what are the causes of this FTPP. So the first cause of FTPP is topographic relief. If terrain is flat, like Indo-Gangetic plain, if there is no shadow, then this phenomena will not occur. One would not see. But in hilly terrain, because when a satellite image is acquired generally by these remote sensing satellites, polar orbiting or near polar orbiting sun synchronous satellites, at that time the sun is in the southeast quadrant in the morning hours between 9:30 to 10:30 roughly. All these satellites, because it is whether it is Landsat, IRS, Cartosat, Spot, or any remote sensing satellite of any country of the world, whenever the image is being acquired, it is generally acquired between 9:30 to 10:30, and at that time the sun is in the southeast quadrant. And whereas the satellite is looking from the top, our brain expects that the illumination should come from the northwest quadrant. So that means the top left rather than bottom right. And if illumination is coming from bottom right, then of a image of a satellite of a hilly terrain, we are bound to see FTP. So topographic relief or the shadow plays very important role. And the second one is, of course, the source observer position. Source means here is the illumination source, and observer means we as viewer. So we always assume, our brain always assume that we are in the southern hemisphere, and the source of illumination is also in the southern hemisphere in the morning hours. So when observer and illumination source are in the same hemisphere of a hilly terrain satellite image, we are bound to see FTP. So when we rotate this image by 180 degrees, we are keeping ourselves in the southern hemisphere, whereas we are by rotation, we are forcing the illumination to go in the northwest direction. And when this occurs, FTPP disappears. So that is why this rotation, 180 degree rotation, works very well as one of the correction techniques. So sun elevation and azimuth also plays very important role. Azimuth here means the direction with reference to the north, and elevation means the angle between horizon to overhead. So this elevation angle will vary between 0 to 90, and azimuth can vary between 0 to 359 or 356 directions. Now, viewing angle, from where we are viewing, if I change my position, rest I keep as it is, I can still get FTPP. So generally, it is rather easy to rotate an image rather than rotating ourselves. Hatching and engraving features, which I have already told you, that through a drawing, and that these features also creates a depth perception in our brain. But if the direction of these hatching features are correct, then we will see in a correct perception. Otherwise, it can also be inverted or a false topographic perception phenomenon which we see. So these are the causes of FTPP. Now let me explain further that when this our image is being acquired, which is from overhead, or we also call as nadir viewing in remote sensing, this term has come from aerial photography anyway. So vertically downward, looking vertically downward, that is the nadir viewing. And when sun, this is the north in this particular diagram, and the sun is in the southeast quadrant in morning hours between 9:30 to 10:30. So this is the arrangement which you are having. That means the image is being acquired from the top, and the illumination source is in the southeast direction. And we as observer are keeping always north upward, and therefore we are keeping ourselves in the southern hemisphere. So when this arrangement is there for any image of any hilly terrain of any part of the earth, so far I have shown only examples of the earth, you are bound to see FTP. Now, if I change this, this is what the normal viewing is. This is the observer, this is the solar illumination, and vertically it is being viewing, or vertically it is being, image is being acquired. And what we rotate, if I rotate myself and go in the opposite direction, then I will not see FTP. So all these have been explained in that first paper of 1996. Now, what are the methods to correct this FTP? One method, that is rotating by 180 degree, I have already explained to you through various images and diagrams. There is another technique which we'll develop later and also publish, that is the SRM based. SRM here stands for shaded relief model. Nowadays, we also call in GIS as hill shading or hill shade. And like in a popular GIS software, ArcGIS, and this term is, rather than calling shaded relief model, it called hill shade. And the hill shade is, or this SRM is a product from digital elevation. So input here would be digital elevation model. I will, little later, I will explain this technique. And later on, we also developed a technique which doesn't require a SRM or input from digital elevation. And it just by using image negative of one of the components of image negative, we can still get rid of FTP. So without rotating and without using SRM, another the third technique which we developed and also published was this one. Now, how this SRM technique works? Now, the image which you are seeing here is of our own Himalaya, and this is Garhwal Himalaya, and in the center you are seeing the Bhagirathi river, and which is a tributary of Ganges or Ganga. And as you can see, I will be also showing a large view of this image. But this image is colored image from our own IRS satellite, and this LIS3 sensor or LIS2 sensor. And this image is also suffering from FTP. But since this is color image, so it is made from 3 color components, which have been put in an additive color scheme like red, green, and blue. That is why here it is written red, green, blue. FCC stands for false color composites, because the vegetation will appear in standard false color composite as in red color, because for infrared channel we have assigned red color. But anyway, this image is suffering from FTP of our own Himalaya. Now, in this SRM based correction technique, what we have done, that first we will split this image in 3 components, because this image is made from RGB, 3 components, red, green, and blue colors. Now we can play in the color space or color cube, and instead of projecting or splitting into RGB, we can split into 3 components, which are intensity, hue, and saturation. Because in that 3-dimensional color space, instead of projecting on a RGB plane, the same image I can project on intensity, hue, and saturation. This is a very standard technique in digital image processing, and these are available, these splitting and combining or backward transformation tools are available in many image processing softwares. So very easily this can be done. Now what we have, as I have mentioned, that we have splitted this RGB, red, green, blue image into 3 different components. That is, one intensity hue stands for colors, intensity hue can stay as brightness, and saturation, that is the saturation of the color. So after having this split, what we need, what we have done is we drop this intensity image, and we replace this intensity image with a SRM, which is a derivative of a digital elevation model. But as you know that in hill shading or in SRM, we can play. And instead of illuminating this image from southeast direction, in this model, we can illuminate this image from northwest direction, top left direction. Because this is after all a model. So in model, we can play with the illumination directions. But exactly with satellite image, we cannot do it. So it has been splitted. The original intensity image is dropped, but that is replaced by a new intensity image, which is nothing but a SRM with opposite sun azimuth. So, and then we go for backward transformation, that we continue with hue image, we continue with saturation image, and a new intensity image, which is nothing but the SRM having opposite sun azimuth, opposite sun direction. And when we combine it or do the backward transformation from hue intensity saturation to RGB, this is what we get. So if I show you the first raw image, you please notice this azimuth angle, and this is 163.3 degree. And this value one can find very easily in the metadata file. Whenever you get a satellite image or download a data, you always get a file which is called .met, which is nothing but, it is nothing to do with meteorology. It is the metadata file. That means the information about that satellite, data about the data. So this metadata file will let you know that when this image was acquired, what was the sun azimuth and sun elevation. If at all you are not getting these values, it is not a very difficult thing. There are online websites are there. You have to put only the center and latitude, longitude of your area of interest and the date. If you put, it will let you know that on that particular date, what was the sun azimuth and sun elevation at that particular time. So getting these values is not difficult. But if you add 180 degree to sun azimuth, that means 163, then it becomes 343.3. And using that value, we have illuminated the terrain of this digital illumination model through this hill shading or shadow relief model. And as you can see that in this image, the river is flowing in the valley. That means not suffering from FTP. Whereas original image is suffering from FTP. So when we combined, as I have told you, from IHS to RGB, this is what you get, the final product. However, here one thing we have achieved very distinctly, very significantly, that we don't have to rotate the image. Here you can see that north is upward, and we could get rid of this one FTPP. But what happened? And that because the areas which has the complete shadow in the original image are getting some artifacts or colors, very peculiar colors, which are not the true image pixels, but they are the sort of artifact because of the complete shadow. Otherwise, the problem of FTPP is solved. You don't have to rotate the image, and you can use this image along with other maps which are also having north upward direction. So this is one example. If I put all three together, this is the original image on the left side. The middle one is the shadow relief model having opposite sun azimuth, and the right image is the corrected one, north upward here. But here the sun azimuth is 340 degrees. Now there might be some question that why we are taking image in the morning hours. Can we take image in the evening hours? Of course, the orbits can be designed to take images in evening hours. But as you know that the sun will never go to northwest direction, because before going there, it sets. So we don't have the sun in the northwest direction any time. So therefore, the orbits of these remote sensing synchronous near polar orbiting satellites have been designed like this by all countries, that they overpass a part of the Earth only in the morning hours between 9:30 to 10:30. Now, another technique, which is the correction technique, which is based on negative, in which we do not employ the shaded relief model or digital elevation. Very simple technique, but this idea came much later. So that is part of our third publication. So here, this RGB image, we split it again in the three component: intensity, hue, and saturation. Little play in digital image processing softwares, that what we do, we create a negative of this intensity, which can be done very easily. And then rest, hue and saturation are kept as it is. And when we do the reverse transformation or in backward transformation from HIS or this IHS to RGB, we get that image. Now this image is again, north is upward. Those artifacts are not here, but some color problems are still there in this image. The problem with the SRM based correction technique is that, as you know, that spatial resolution of satellite images is improving every day. We started with roughly 80-meter spatial resolution satellite images of Landsat MSS, and now we are talking about 30-centimeter spatial resolution. But our digital elevation model resolution has not improved as quickly as satellite. So for that shaded SRM-based correction technique, we require the corresponding same spatial resolution digital elevation model, which we use to create a shaded relief model. But in this correction technique, we don't require any external inputs, only that image and creating negative. So the resolution part and other things will not come at all in this problem. The only problem remaining in this one is some variations in the colors. So while interpreting these images, one has to be little careful that these are not completely standard false color composite, but there are some variations are there. But the major point is that the FTPP has gone, and without a rotation or without using shaded relief model. Now, if this experiment I did with my students, that I gave first a satellite image of Hilli, that is Bhagirathi River Valley, and asked them to prepare a lineament interpretation map. And this is what they did, which was suffering from FTP. And when I gave, when I said that now you rotate the image, and so get rid of FTPP and do the interpretation was completely different. And this is the point which I was mentioning, that if any image is suffering from FTPP, then anyone who is using those image or that image or making interpretation of that image is bound to make wrong interpretation. So one has to be very, very careful about this phenomenon. So this is what the next paper came again in the International Journal of Remote Sensing. During my introduction, it was mentioned that I was associate editor of this journal, but at that time I was not editor. So I could not influence by any means the publication. It is still hard to publish in this journal. But if you prepare a nice manuscript, if the manuscript is having a good work, anyone can publish. So there is no lobbying is basically required. Only the work has to be very original. And the third one was again that how to correct it, and the technique using the negative was also published in this journal. Now I will, when I mentioned the two things about sun azimuth and sun elevation, so I am having now two simulations which are, or animations which are simulations of several images. Why simulation? Because I have played with this shaded relief model or hill shading and have created different scenarios. So let me bring that one, and I hope that you should be able to see at your end. Here, what you are seeing, that I am having 8 images having different solar illumination, and this white circle is supposed to be the sun, and this sun is moving at different locations. So when the sun is in the southern hemisphere, we are also in the viewing from the southern hemisphere. That means the keeping north upward. We are seeing that image is suffering from FTPP. But whenever this white circle or the sun goes in the northern hemisphere, then we don't see FTPP. And this is what this animation depicts. And anyone can create, nowadays very easy, that you imply a GIF creator, that is graphic interchange file format creator, which is a animation file, very popular file format for internet also. So whenever you see the animations on internet, which are generally in the GIF file format, and these GIF file creators are there. So you need to have, say, like in this one, I had the 8 frames. You can have many frames and of same size, and then you can put in a sequence with some time gap and can create such animations very easily. This is how I am. But what it is depicting is important, is that whenever this illumination source, that is our sun, is in the southern hemisphere, we are seeing the image is suffering from FTPP. And whenever this sun goes in the northern hemisphere, then FTPP is not observed. This is what the role of sun azimuth in case of FTPP. This is how the azimuth influences the FTPP. Second animation is playing with the sun elevation. You observe when the sun, the image is the brightest, at that time the sun is at the overhead. And when the image is having very large shadows, that means in the very early morning hours. And that means the sun is just above horizon. So I had images starting from 5 degree above horizon to 90 degree. And this is what of that Bhagirathi Valley of Garhwal Himalaya. So when the shadows are large, we are seeing more depth perception. And when shadows are small, we are not seeing that much depth perception. That is why I said in the beginning that this FTPP is generally observed for only hilly terrain. In plain areas like Indo-Gangetic plain, when there are no undulations, therefore there will not be any shadows. And if shadows are not there, then FTPP will not be observed. So FTPP is observed only for hilly terrain. Okay. Now, after our work, some other people have started using that concept and started developing some other technique to get rid of FTPP. And this is what this is a group in Hong Kong who published a paper in about 9 years back. And they mentioned that FTPP is a relief inversion problem, firstly identified by Saraf et al. Before that, before 1996, as I have already mentioned, people were suffering from this phenomena. They were facing this problem about perception, but not really realizing that what is that problem. Anyway, and slowly people started accepting and developing further techniques like this. Wu et al. Have developed a technique. And this is what they have developed, that this is what you are seeing here is now on, instead of, we started with moon, so we are again going on the moon. Now these are the satellite images of moon surface. And if you see net, and they will mention this is the moon, the crater, impact crater of moon surface. But if you see this image, you would say that this is raised ground. This is a kind of plateau. It doesn't look like a circular plateau. It doesn't look like a depression. So why it is so? So when I rotate this image by 180 degree, now the impact crater looks like impact crater. And this is how you should, in the Maharashtra, there is one impact crater, Lunar Lake or Lunar. So that is also an impact crater. And in satellite image, that should look like this because it suffers from FTPP. But when you rotate 180 degree, this is how you should look like this. Anyway, so we also identified this phenomena on the moon surface, and again published the 4th paper in IJRS. about this phenomena. So we started with Earth, on the Earth, FTPP observing on the satellite images of Earth. Later on, we also found on the moon surface satellite image. This Wu et al., what they have done, they have taken the moon's satellite image suffering from FTPP of impact crater, and a very high resolution digital elevation model of moon surface is also available. So they exploited that one, and they use this wavelet transform based approach. And because this wavelet has been implemented in image processing very extensively nowadays, and they could get rid of FTPP without rotating and without any other negative, because this is just single image, but employing this wavelet transformation and using this digital elevation. Another example in the bottom row is also there. On the left side, you see impact crater suffering from FTPP. In the middle one is the digital elevation model of the same impact crater. And on the right side, that FTPP is gone without rotation. Very cleverly, what Wu et al. Has done, they have taken the input image as black and white image. Whereas the image examples of Himalaya, which I have shown, or even Colorado River, I have shown the colored image from 3 components. So if we try to use this technique for 3 components, that may not work easily, but that has to be really tested. Now, we also, later on, we also observed this phenomena on Mars. And, our paper was not accepted in IGRS. Then we got publication through this Asian Journal of Geoinformatics. So by that time, we declared that this is a truly universal phenomenon. That means this phenomena, FTPP, is seen not only on the satellite images of Earth's surface in the drawings, but images of moon surface and as well as of Mars surface. Now, if you open any GIS or image processing softwares which allows you to create a shader relief model or hillside, by default, these values you can see in the bottom. If you go for this tool hillside, by default, these values will be 315. This is the azimuth direction. That means and they are suggesting you that illumination source, put this illumination source in the northwest direction. When I asked the developer of this software that why do you keep a default value like this? Why not in the southeast quadrant? They didn't have basically any answer. But if you create an image with 350 or a shader relief model having 315 degree like this as a default value of this digital elevation model, which is shown here in the background, this is what you get. Elevation was kept in the center, that is between 0 to 90, that is 45 degrees. If I change this one in the same way as in case of satellite images and keep it in the southeast direction, then this appears completely different, just opposite of that. Similarly, nowadays people have accepted this phenomena, and various examples you would see. This is also from the net. Here, if you see the top image, it is looking completely different than the bottom. But here they have clearly mentioned that at left, the illumination direction for the top image is opposite that of the bottom image. So people have realized that yes, images of hilly terrain of any part of the globe suffers from FTPP. You can also check on Google Earth, Google Moon, and Google Mars, and you would find exactly what I have explained. And if I take an example of Zagros Mountains, Iran, and you see that when we keep north upward, and this is how the image looks. And if somebody who is geologist and making interpretation of this image, he will make completely wrong interpretations about structures which are geological structures which are present in this area. But if I rotate this image by 180 degrees, now it is in correct perception, I will make correct interpretation. And this is what it has been done. Here, that image is suffering from FTPP, but when I make the interpretations, then this is how, sorry, this left one is now not suffering from FTPP, I am making correct interpretations. So north here has been rotated to get rid of FTPP. People, some people, those who are not from directly from like civil engineer or art sciences background, but they are artists and they too have observed this phenomena. So they are exploiting. This is the gallery of Pippi Hounsworth, and what he has done, he has taken the image, one image keeping north upward, another one keeping downward, and have created this one, and I will show you a blow up of that one. And it says that forms FTP. It says that forms FTP. This is a false topographic perception phenomenon. And they see on the left image is suffering from FTP. Another image is right image is not suffering from it. So artists too have realized that yes, this phenomena exists in satellite images, and they are putting in exhibition. This is really a very good idea. Now, perception problem is there in our life also. Everywhere it is there. And all these perception problems are because of neighborhood. Let me give you an example on the lighter side. This example, if I am having Maruti and my neighbor didn't have any car, I was very happy. But one day my neighbor brought Mercedes and I still had the Maruti. Now perception has changed. My perception has changed. His perception has changed. But if you see in absolute terms, my Maruti is still there. So this, in relative sense, this is what happens. Same in the satellite image. One area is under shadow, another area is not in shadow. For example, in case of a valley, one slope of valley may be illuminated by the sun, and other side of the valley or the other slope of the valley may be in complete shadow. So when these opposite things are there, one is illuminated, another one is not illuminated, you develop a perception. And this is what happens. I will show you example. Many of you might have even observed this in the same diagram. So you just please focus on this next image on block A and B, like here. And what I am saying here at this stage over this checkerboard, that A block is darker related to B block. So A is darker, B is lighter. This is what I am making a statement here. Now let me do one thing, that I will hide everything except these two blocks, but slowly. And keep observing that what really happens to block A and B. Still I am repeating, the block A is darker and B is brighter. Let's see what happens now. So let me start now hiding one after another and keep observing block A and B. And see now the shade or colors or the gray shades have become equal. So why it is happening? Very simple. I'm going back. And why it is happening is very simple, because of neighborhood. This block A is having white neighborhood, whereas block B is having darker neighborhood. So it is looking more brighter relative terms, and A is looking more darker in relative terms because the surrounding is in the bright. And this creates a perception in our brain initially. But when we see in absolute terms, hiding all neighborhood, there is no problem. There is no issue. Everything is same shade. So this is what happens even in the satellite images, because one valley, one part of the slope is in the shadow, another one is not there. If I change the illumination, like here in the two rows, we are having the simple drawings or three-dimensional figures generated through computers. And by just changing the illumination direction, you see that like in the top left, these are now in depression, whereas these are the raised one. And just if I change the illumination direction, and then reverse happens. Here also, this I cannot directly show you, but let me say, you take any band here, which is in the gray shades, you would see, like if I take this center band, you would realize that here it is brighter and here it is darker. But in fact, digitally, throughout this band, each pixel is having the same pixel value. There is no change. But since here, this is the darker, so it looks, in relative sense brighter, but here it is brighter, so in relative sense it looks but there is no change. And each band is having single pixel value. But because of neighborhood, things looks completely different. So this, our perception changes. Another example of changing our perception, and this is almost now last slides, or there may be one more, is that if we look, if the project this, the cylinder, then in one direction it looks like a circle, another direction it looks like a, rectangle or a square. But in fact, it is a circle. So everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. And this is what is important in false topographic perception phenomenon. So in the last slides, what the lessons we have learned. And what I say to my students here also, that if you observe anything which is unusual and you are not getting any convincing explanation of that thing, don't give up that idea. Try to solve by yourself. So if you are having an idea, then definitely work on it. And keep publishing. Do not wait for others to publish. Because if I have waited that I will develop 3-4 techniques and I will observe this phenomena for Moon and Mars, then I will publish. By that time, 15 years would have, or 20 years would have passed. Because a phenomena or a problem you observe, you may not get the solution immediately. It may take many years. Like for us, it has taken many years. And then we started observing, keep observing elsewhere, and we got this one. And the last point, which is not mentioned here, as said in the beginning, from technical communication point of view, because in many years I am in IIT, I am also teaching technical communication. And where I tell to my students, use minimum text in your slides. As you have seen, I have used very few slides which had the text. Rest were only photographs, satellite images, or diagrams. And use these aids like diagram or figures or images rather than text, because people don't, people prefer seeing things rather than reading. We have become very lazy to read the things, but we are very good on seeing things. So if people are comfortable of seeing things, let's present or make our presentations through only diagrams, figures, or images. With this, I thank you all, and now I am open for any kind of comments or questions. Thank you very much. Hello. Dr. Prakash Patil. Hello, Dr. Prakash Patil. Hello, Dr. Prakash Patil.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just a minute, sir. Please.
Please, I have finished my presentation.
Yes.
I'm sure there must be some questions, so please.
Yes. Student, you have any question? So please ask now through chat box.
Or through voice also they can raise. No.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I am here now.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Just a minute, sir. Students,